The rain was coming down in sheets as I drove home from the clinic. I'm Kendrick, 44, a veterinarian in Portland, Oregon, and that day had been particularly rough. A sweet old golden retriever, a family pet for 15 years, had to be put down. It always gets to me, no matter how many times I've done it. My wife, Willow, was supposed to be at a charity gala that evening. She worked as a real estate agent and was always networking, attending these events. I wasn't thrilled about going, those things weren't really my scene. I preferred a quiet night in with Willow, a good book, and maybe some takeout. Pulling into the driveway, I noticed Willow's car was already there. That was odd. The gala was supposed to start hours ago. Maybe she wasn't feeling well. I hurried inside, calling out her name. "Willow, honey, I'm home." Silence. The house was dark, save for a dim light coming from the bedroom. A knot of unease tightened in my stomach. I walked slowly towards the bedroom, the door slightly ajar. Pushing it open, I froze. Willow was in bed, but she wasn't alone. Beside her, tangled in the sheets, was a man I vaguely recognized. It took me a moment to place him. Gareth, our neighbor. He was a fitness instructor, always jogging around the neighborhood with his perfect teeth and irritatingly cheerful wave. They were both asleep, or pretending to be. The air was thick with the scent of cheap perfume and something else, something stale and sickening. My blood ran cold. This couldn't be happening, not to me, not to us. My first instinct was to scream, to tear Gareth from the bed and beat him senseless, but I couldn't move. I was paralyzed, my mind reeling, trying to process what I was seeing. Willow. With Gareth, it made no sense. We had been happy, hadn't we? We had plans. We were going to start a family, or so I thought. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, just staring before finally backing out of the room, my heart shattering into a million pieces. I stumbled into the living room, collapsing onto the sofa. My hands were shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was drowning, gasping for air in a sea of betrayal. How could she do this to me? What had I done to deserve this? I sat there for hours, the rain drumming against the windows, mirroring the storm raging inside me. I replayed every moment of our relationship in my head, searching for clues, for signs I had missed. Had she been unhappy? Had I failed her somehow? But I couldn't find anything. Everything seemed normal, perfect even. That was the most terrifying part. The normalcy. The deception. Finally, as the first rays of dawn crept through the blinds, I stood up. I couldn't stay in that house any longer. I needed to get out, to escape the suffocating weight of Willow's betrayal. I grabbed my keys and wallet and walked out the door, leaving Willow and Gareth asleep in our bed. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I couldn't stay there. I drove aimlessly for hours, ending up at the coast. The crashing waves seemed to echo my own turmoil, the vastness of the ocean a stark reminder of the emptiness that had consumed me. I spent the day walking along the beach, trying to make sense of everything. I called my best friend Alden and told him what had happened. He was furious, offering to come down and take care of Gareth. I declined, telling him I needed to handle this myself. By the time I returned to Portland, it was late. I braced myself before entering the house, steeling my resolve. Willow was awake, sitting at the kitchen table, her face pale and drawn. Gareth was gone. I didn't say a word, just stood there, staring at her. "Kendrick," she began, her voice trembling. "Don't," I interrupted, holding up my hand. "Just don't. I saw you, Willow. I saw him. There's nothing you can say that will make this any better." Tears streamed down her face. "I'm so sorry, Kendrick. I don't know what came over me. It just happened. It just happened," I repeated, my voice rising. "You climbed into bed with another man in our bed and it just happened. Do you think I'm stupid, Willow? Do you think I'm blind?" "No, Kendrick, I love you. I do. This was a mistake, a terrible, awful mistake." "Love," I scoffed. "If that's love, I don't want it. I thought we had something special, Willow. I thought we were happy, but I was wrong. You've been lying to me for God knows how long. It only happened once," she pleaded. "Please, Kendrick, give me another chance. I'll do anything, anything," I asked, my voice dangerously low. "Well, Willow, you've already done everything. You've destroyed our marriage, our future, everything we built together. There's nothing left to salvage." I turned and walked away, leaving her sobbing at the kitchen table. I packed a bag, grabbed a few essentials, and left. I went to Alden's place, crashing on his couch for the night. I couldn't face another night in that house, in that bed. The next few weeks were a blur. I moved into a small apartment, hired a lawyer, and filed for divorce. Willow tried to contact me to apologize, to explain, but I refused to speak to her. I couldn't bear to hear her voice, to see her face. The pain was too raw, too intense. Alden was my rock during this time, offering support and a listening ear. He understood my pain, my anger, my confusion. He helped me navigate the legal process, shielding me from Willow's attempts to manipulate me. He was a true friend. As the divorce proceedings dragged on, I began to uncover more about Willow's affair. It wasn't just a one-time thing, as she had claimed. She had been seeing Gareth for months, meeting him in secret, lying to me about her whereabouts. The betrayal cut even deeper, the lies compounding the pain. I also learned that Gareth was a serial cheater, preying on vulnerable women in the neighborhood. He was married himself with 2 young children. The thought of him destroying another family filled me with rage. During one of the court hearings, I finally came face to face with Willow. She looked gaunt and tired, her eyes red and swollen. She tried to apologize again, but I cut her off. "I don't want your apologies, Willow," I said, my voice cold and hard. "I want you to understand the pain you've caused, the damage you've done. You've not only destroyed our marriage, but you've also hurt everyone around you. Your family, my friends, everyone who believed in us." "I know, Kendrick," she sobbed. "I know. I'm so sorry." "Sorry isn't enough, Willow," I said. "It will never be enough." The divorce was finalized a few weeks later. I got the house, the savings, everything. Willow didn't fight it. She seemed to have given up, resigned to her fate. I tried to move on with my life, but it was hard. The pain of Willow's betrayal lingered, a constant ache in my heart. I struggled to trust anyone, to open myself up to the possibility of love again. One evening, a few months after the divorce, I received a phone call. It was Gareth's wife, Blythe. She had found out about the affair and had kicked him out. She was devastated, alone, and didn't know where to turn. I met Blythe for coffee the next day. We talked for hours, sharing our stories of betrayal and heartbreak. We found solace in each other's company, a shared understanding of the pain we had both endured. As the weeks passed, Blythe and I grew closer. We spent more time together, supporting each other through the difficult process of healing. We discovered that we had a lot in common: a shared love of animals, a similar sense of humor, a mutual desire for a simple, honest life. One day, Blythe and I were volunteering at a local animal shelter when she turned to me, her eyes filled with warmth. "Kendrick," she said, "I know this might be too soon, but I can't help but feel like we've been brought together for a reason. I enjoy spending time with you. You're kind, compassionate, and you understand me in a way that no one else ever has." I smiled, taking her hand in mine. "I feel the same way, Blythe. I never thought I could love again, but you've shown me that it's possible. You've brought light back into my life." We kissed, a gentle, tentative kiss that spoke volumes. It was the beginning of something new, something beautiful, something real. Willow's betrayal had shattered my world, but it had also led me to Blythe. I had lost one love, but I had found another, a love that was stronger, deeper, and more meaningful than anything I had ever known. I eventually sold the house, unable to shake the memories associated with it. I bought a small farm outside of Portland, where Blythe and I now live with a menagerie of rescued animals. We're happy, content, and grateful for the second chance we've been given. Willow, on the other hand, didn't fare so well. Her real estate career faltered, her reputation tarnished by the scandal. Gareth left her for another woman, proving himself to be the heartless opportunist I always suspected he was. She ended up moving back in with her parents, a broken and bitter woman. I don't harbor any ill will towards her. I've forgiven her, not for her sake, but for my own. Holding on to anger and resentment would only poison my own happiness. I've moved on, found peace, and built a new life with Blythe. And that, in the end, is the greatest revenge of all.